I love the smell of plastic in the morning. Hey everyone, Steven here from My Life Outdoors. So, it's that time of year again, when brand new gear is dropping from major brands and retailers are having really big sales. But with supply chain issues making gear really hard to get, you may be tempted to drop some cash on whatever happens to be in stock. But be warned, not everything is worth spending your hard-earned money. Here to hopefully save you some cash, this is 2022's best and worst new gear. Going from worst to best, LifeStraw came out with a new filter called the PEAK series. This is a completely new squeeze and gravity filter that has tried to borrow some of the best design features from other brands, but has fallen just a tad bit short in my opinion. The new PEAK is a squeeze filter that is recessed into the squeeze bag much like the Cadet and Be Free. The only difference is where the Be Free has its filter open completely all the way around, the new PEAK filter only has an opening at the bottom, which means you will never be able to squeeze all the water through it using its supplied squeeze bag. Because the filter comes so far down into the squeeze bag and the opening is on the bottom, you can't squeeze all of the water out of the squeeze bag. This is a 1 liter squeeze bag and this is a 1 liter smart water bottle, and this is all the water that I was able to squeeze out of this bag. But its saving grace is it has a standard 23mm thread that you would find on a smart water bottle or a Canuck bag, which when you use a Canuck bag, not only can you actually squeeze all the water through it, but it's actually quite fast at about 30 seconds for a liter of water. That's not the fastest, but it's certainly not slow. But I was just hiking with Justin from Justin Outdoors last week, and he happened to mention that his new PEAK filter slowed down after only filtering 15 liters of water through it, which isn't very much. At almost $40, it's cheaper than the Be Free, but in my opinion, you will have to throw in a $20 Canuck bag to really make it functional. And with the much better designed Platypus Quick Draw, only $30 or $40 with an actual usable squeeze bag, this, in my opinion, is the worst new gear of 2022. Next on my list is a very promising tent, the new MSR FREELITE 2-person tent. This is a completely redesigned, semi-freestanding, ultralight tent that weighs in just over 2 pounds. Its best features its true rectangular shape and a 50-inch wide floor, which means it will actually fit 2 people with 25-inch wide pads. That and its decent amount of headroom would make it my new go-to tent for 2 people. The only problem is an unfortunate design side effect. MSR was trying to create something new and useful with a vestibule zipper that cuts across the fly instead of down the center of the fly. This is really nice because you don't have to fold yourself in half to reach the vestibule zipper when you're opening and closing the tent. But in my admittedly limited experience, every time I open the tent with a wet fly, water drips straight in the tent right where my sleeping bag is. If it wasn't for this one unfortunate design side effect, not even calling it a flaw, it's a design side effect, this would be much higher on my list. Next on my list is the new Therm-a-rest Ohm 20. This is basically a quilt sleeping bag hybrid. Zip it all the way up and it's a sleeping bag. Unzip it and it's a large quilt. Or you can zip it together with another Ohm to make it a cozy 2-person sleeping bag. Filled with 900 fill power, hydrophobic down, and weighing in at just 22 ounces, this is the perfect bag for anyone who can't decide between a quilt and a bag. I had the opportunity to use the Ohm all last week, and I pushed its EN temperature rating to its limit in the desert of Utah. Rated to 30 degrees comfort with a 20-degree limit, I found this bag to be pretty accurate. I also used a separate down hood from Katabatic Gear because this bag doesn't have a hood included, which is part of what allows it to act as a quilt when it's fully open. With the hood and a properly rated sleeping pad, this bag will perform well in the spring and fall. And if you open it all the way up, it will even work well in the warmer temps of summer. Speaking of properly rated sleeping pads, Nemo updated their insulated Tensor sleeping pad. It now has a 4.2 R value, which, in my experience, is the perfect rating for all but the coldest weather. Now, while I haven't had this particular pad in freezing temps yet, I am confident it will perform well because I've had other pads rated to 4.2. But what has me excited about the new Tensor is a 3-inch thick pad that is mostly quiet. You've probably heard that potato chip bag sound that most lightweight pads make. This is caused by the reflective film that manufacturers use to make pads warm but light. Nemo uses reflective film, but they suspend it in the pad to keep the noise down. That's how they managed to update the Tensor R value without adding any additional weight. So this pad weighs in at just over a pound at 19 ounces. I opted for the wide 25-inch pad because I think I've decided I never want to sleep on a 20-inch pad ever again. Now, for the best new gear for 2022, it's probably no surprise, but I picked the new ZPACKS PLEX Solo. I think this may be my third or fourth video mentioning the PLEX since it was released in January. And even though my video just last week was talking about how you can get a very similar tent for less money, but a little bit more weight, the PLEX really is my new favorite tent for 2022. What makes the PLEX so great is it's a roomy, relatively easy to pitch tent that only weighs 13.7 ounces. I know, you're getting tired of hearing me say that. That's lighter than my pack, it's lighter than my sleeping bag, it's lighter than my sleeping pad. That makes it both the largest and lightest thing in my loadout. Its only problem is it's got a high price at almost $600 US. But if you're willing to shell out the cash, there isn't a better one-person tent on the market in my opinion. Okay, so there you have it, the best and worst gear of 2022. Tell me, what gear are you the most excited about in 2022? Drop me a comment and let me know what's on your list, or better yet, what gear do you want to see in videos coming in 2022? Drop me a comment and let me know. If you want to support me in the videos I'm putting out, please be sure to use the links in the description. If you end up buying something, I'll earn a small commission at no additional cost to you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and are following me on Instagram at My Life Outdoors, and as always, thanks for watching. The vestibule.